The standard. This is so simple. Do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it every time. Your goal is to make the team. If you were drafted in the first round, you have not made the team yet. If you were undrafted, you have not made the team yet. It doesn't work that way. Your second goal, once you made that team, is to earn a role. No one will be given a role. Doesn't work that way. You will earn a role.
Listen.
And you'll earn that role based off what you do in this room, in your position meeting room, in the weight room, out on the field, in this building. That's what you're doing. Earn that role, okay? What we're going to do now is I'm going to have every single one of you guys stand up, okay? I want to hear your name, where you're from, what town you're from, and what college you went to, and position you play.
Carson Swessinger, linebacker from Moore Park, California. I went to UCLA.
Jason Graham from Southern California, D tackle, played at Michigan.
Dylan Sampson from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm at the University of Tennessee, play running back.
Quinshon Jenkins, play running back from Montgomery, Alabama.
Dylan Gabriel, quarterback from Milwaukee White, played at Oregon.
Harold Fannin, I played tight end with the Bowling State University. Tight end.
Shedeur Sanders, quarterback from Dallas, Texas, Colorado.
Okay, so get to know your teammates, right? So now you know where everybody's from, know where they went to school. Obviously, we spent a ton of time together this weekend. Use that time. Get to know each other. Simple.
Okay.
All right, people. I just had to put that little tidbit on my team. This is what happens in rookie camp, okay? May not be the same scenario, but pretty much this is what happens in rookie camp. Every rookie that got drafted gets up and gives them his whole short bio, where he came from, what position he plays, and what college he plays for. That's basic. That's basically what happens in rookie camp. And it's ironic. It's ironic, let me put it this way, that he led off. I'm talking about the coach, Kevin Stefanski, and every coach probably says this, but I think it's directed at a few people. Okay, just because you got drafted in the first round doesn't make you you don't make the team. Just because you got undrafted doesn't mean you got to earn your way. Okay, you got to earn your way in 3 different categories: on the field, off the field, and in your position room. Okay. So I'm just saying, I think that was directed pretty much with the last round of the draft that the Browns drafted in the 5th round, Shedeur Sanders. Okay. Now we have, people, some, I wouldn't say breaking news, because people by now that either play fantasy football, and this is what this is about, or just follow the NFL, knows that Derek Carr, the starting quarterback of the New Orleans Saints, and one of the places, landing spots, supposedly, of Shedeur Sanders at the time, retired because of injuries. He's no longer going to be on the team. So the most experienced quarterback that the Saints have right now is a 2nd round Spencer Rattler. Excuse me while I cover my mouth and run. Are you kidding me? Spencer Rattler. Shortstop. I have to put him that way. He's a shortstop because he's a short quarterback. Okay? If you want to think of short quarterbacks, and I hate to say it, and he knows I'm going to say it, think of Kyler Murray. Come on, man. I hate to say it, but what the heck happened to my teeth? What? Hold on.
We can see you. ladies and gentlemen, he didn't even introduce me. But it's me, it's Mr. FSP, doing what I do because I do it for you all day, every day. And you see how God works? As Mr. Taylor decided to tear down Kyler Murray, his monitor went out. That's God.
Wow.
That is God telling him to stop bad mouthing Kyler Murray. Now, Spencer Rattler isn't that short of a quarterback. I mean, he's not Kyler Murray's height. He's a little taller than Kyler Murray. The problem with Spencer Rattler is
He's not that good.
too. I'm getting to that. Yes, he is. He's too inaccurate. We saw this when he would start the first half of games last season when Derek Carr got hurt, only to be replaced by the third stringer who didn't look that much better, Jake Hayner. And with that being the case, they go out, the New Orleans Saints, that is, in Kellen Moore's inaugural year as the head coach, and draft arguably a fifth round quarterback in the first round. Third quarterback taken overall. I mean, no, was he third or was he second? I think he was second. Yeah, I believe he was the second quarterback taken.
Yeah, yeah.
Over Jackson Dart, which, like I said, he is a true fifth round quarterback in my opinion. He's got the measurables as far as height. He has a decent arm. It's nothing fantastic. He is mature, but he is not a prototypical young quarterback with mobility. He has no he's a pocket quarterback. He is a pocket quarterback on a team that has a terrible offensive line.
Let me interject this here. Let me ask you, how old is Patrick Mahomes?
I don't know. I don't know Pat's age. I think he's like 27, 28, something like that. But that's after like 6, 7 years in the league.
How long has he been in the league?
6 or 7 years. No. He's been in the league more than that. He's been in the league. I'm gonna say about 8 or 9.
No,
8 or 9 years.
It hasn't been that long. I think he got drafted in 2018, 2019, somewhere around there. I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so that's 2018. That's
8 years.
okay.
9
Almost
years.
8
9
years.
years. Yeah. Okay. And how old is Tyler Show?
I believe the young or the man, not as a young man. I believe the man is like 26, 27.
Just around the same age that Patrick Mahomes has been in the league, and is the same age as he has established himself already. And this guy's just coming out of college. Am I right about that?
And not developed to the point where he is ready to be the starter.
And by this time, a quarterback of his age should be developed enough to run an NFL offense efficiently. And he just came out of college. Okay. So, in my opinion, it's a wasted pick. In my opinion, it's a wasted pick. Why would you take a quarterback that's almost the same age as the best quarterback in the NFL, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, who's been in the league 7, 8, 9 years, and about the same age as your rookie quarterback? Really? Who has not seen an NFL defense, played against the NFL defense, going against NFL defensive players. In college, you get NFL caliber players on a team, not 11 defensive players that are NFL level. You get maybe two or three of those defensive players are maybe NFL level. The rest are college level and just struggling to be college level. And you're going against them, and you're 26, 27 years old. You should be able to stand out against college level players. You should be able. Wait a minute.
I didn't say anything. Wait a minute.
Okay, I'm just saying you should be able to stand out if you're 26, 27 years old, or 25, 26 years old, and being able to play against a defense that's maybe has 2 or 3 NFL level players. You should be able to stand out. But how much of a standout are you at that age going into the NFL when you go up against NFL caliber players against 11 defensive NFL caliber players? Come on. So the reason I showed you that clip earlier, people. At near the end of the clip, you saw 2 rookie quarterbacks. One Dylan Gabriel, the other one Shedeur Sanders, quite naturally. People were associating the last draft pick that the Browns had, Shedeur Sanders, with the New Orleans Saints. And they didn't take him. Knowing that Derek Carr had issues, but didn't know it was this serious, but they should have. They should have. And they picked Tyler Show. I don't know if that's a reflection on Shedeur Sanders or the Saints organization. I don't know. Because they didn't think that they would hedge their bets. And I'm referring to Mr. FSP over there. Hedge their bets and picking.
Hold on.
No.
Just because you didn't go with me, you could have won, but you chose not to go
I'm
with
not
me.
worried about it. I'm not that. You know what, Mr. FSP? I'm not even referring to that. I'm just because you're better. I'm really not too much of a better. You like hedging your bets. I'm not too much. I tell you, I'm telling you, I pick my spots. I'm not too much of a bet. I'm not too much of a better. I used to be, but I've changed my ways drastically because of because of circumstances, and beyond that, I'm not going to go any further. But because of circumstances, had to do with me financially, but had to do with me personally.
Okay.
Personally. Okay. One of these days I may tell you about that, but this is not the time and place to tell you about that.
I recall what it was you told me
Okay.
a while ago.
Okay. I didn't know if I did or not. Okay. No problem. Anyway.
Losing friends. See, it wasn't that lost a friend, it was you.
let me put it this way. I value my friends, regardless of what you may think. I value my friends because I don't have many friends. Not because I
believe that. I believe that.
Not because I don't want a lot of. I mean, I don't try to bring in a lot of friends. I don't have a lot of friends by choice. By choice, okay. By choice. He made joke, but I don't have a lot of friends by choice. Okay. Anyway, so I cherish the friends that I do have, and I try to treat my friends very well because, like I said, I cherish my friends very well. Let me just let me go. You have no idea. You have no idea.
I know I don't.
Okay.
Trust me.
Okay.
I know I don't.
Okay. Anyway, people. Anyway, people. This is my feeling, and I know it may sound crazy, but this may be a blessing in disguise for the Saints. Okay. It may be a blessing in disguise. Not to say that there. I read an article. I read it before we came on air. Okay. 5 quarterback options for the Saints after Derek Carr's retirement. Quite naturally, Tyler Show, or they trade to get or grab a quarterback, a veteran quarterback, either from free agency, or they trade to get Jameis Winston, or they go and get Ryan Tannehill, Taylor Heineke, and last but not least, and I think this is probably the least of them, Aaron Rodgers. And I don't think Aaron Rodgers will come to the freaking Saints because he has a better chance of winning, in my opinion, than he does with the Saints, who are basically I would say they're in rebuild mode. Let me put it that way. And to me, if you're in rebuild mode, you might as well rebuild with a young quarterback. Okay? Rookie quarterback. And I'm talking about trading for Shedeur Sanders. It may not happen. It may be far-fetched. Okay. I'm not the type of person that doesn't think about far-fetched things, because I do. AKA Joe Milton. I told you about Joe Milton last year. Joe Milton's going to show his ass in Dallas. I'm telling you right now. Joe Milton's going to show his ass in Dallas. And I saw it last year, and I got poo-pooed, I'll say that way, by some people. And I'm not talking about Mr. FSP. I'm definitely not talking about him, about that. All you need is an opportunity. Okay? All you need is an opportunity. And I saw a few interviews by Shedeur. He's very appreciative of getting just an opportunity. He's not asking for anything special. Just an opportunity. That's it. Regardless of what took place last week on the FSP show about some people thinking he's privileged, he's not about that. He wants to play and earn whatever he can in his play. Plain and simple. And I'm thinking, okay, you have a quarterback that's sitting 5th on the roster. 5th on the roster. Okay? That supposedly, and I'm not discounting it, but I'm saying we'll get some opportunities. But how? And I said it last week on the FS Fantasy Sports and Politics show, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on a Saturday afternoon. I said I do this all the time. So I mean, this is natural for me because I just do it because it don't cost anything to be nice.
It sure don't.
It sure don't. It don't cost anything to be nice. Okay.
I was waiting for you to be
okay.
Nice.
Anyway, I'm thinking he's the 5th man on the totem pole. Going to get limited opportunities. Supposedly, he's going to get an opportunity to show his wares, to show what he's made of, compared to the 3rd round pick that the Cleveland Browns had in Dylan Gabriel. Okay, but history tells us that's not the case. 5th round picks are limited in what they get. Even though the head coach said, make the most of all your opportunities, that's goes without saying. Because every football player on every team knows they have to make the best of their opportunities. Otherwise, they will not be on that football team. That's a fact. That's a fact. Okay? Look at Jamarcus Russell. 1st round pick. He didn't last. They knew what he was about. Okay? So what I'm saying is this. Saints, you screwed up and didn't select him in the draft. He's a 5th round pick of the Cleveland Browns. Do the Cleveland Browns want to give him up or ship him off to another team like the Saints for whatever draft capital or whatever they can get for him? And Let me put it this way. If he gets the opportunity, in my opinion, if he gets the opportunity, he may blossom in another environment on another team. If he blossoms, everybody will lambaste the Cleveland Browns for letting him go. If he blossoms, the New Orleans Saints will get lambasted because even though they got him by, I wouldn't say default, but they got him because of an injury. Yeah. And when they could have drafted him in the first place, before they drafted Tyler Show. Really? Okay. So, do the Cleveland Browns want pie in their face? Do the New Orleans Saints want pie in their face? Because either way, it can go. But Shedeur Sanders played in the South for Jackson State. Okay? He played in the South for Jackson State. There's a following, or there will be a following wherever Shedeur Sanders go. But because he played in a HBCU, do you not think if he goes to the New Orleans Saints that he's going to be revered if he plays well? Just think about that. You think he's going to be a rock star, even though he's somewhat of a rock star right now? You think he's going to be a rock star if he plays well for the New Orleans Saints? Come on, man.
Nope.
He's got a name already, and if he goes to Louisiana and plays for the Saints, you don't think he's going to show up and show out and be a rock star for that fan base? Talk to me.
So let's define what you mean, though. Rock star or polarizing figure? Which one are you referring to?
Well, I'll put it this way. He's a polarizing figure right now. Okay.
Correct.
All right. So he's only a polarizing figure because people think he comes from privilege. I shouldn't say think. He does come from privilege. Okay. And there's some resentment about that.
Absolutely.
And because the color, and I'm gonna say it like this, because of the color.
I knew you were going there. I knew you were gonna go there.
Yeah, because of the color of his skin, people are less tolerant. Some people are less tolerant of that. Okay, look at Johnny Manziel. Okay, look at Eli Manning before he became the two-time winning Eli Manning, because Eli screwed up a lot, but he's still revered because he was a quote-unquote a Manning. Peyton Manning himself screwed up a lot in the beginning of his career, but because he was a Manning,
he got more opportunities.
He had more opportunities, and I'll say it like this: he got excused for that. I was brought up thinking you got to be exceptional to get noticed. If you think you're on par with somebody that's of privilege, and Mr. FSP knows what I'm talking about, of privilege, you got to be exceptional. You got to go far beyond that in order to get noticed and given a quote-unquote equal opportunity. Okay? You got to be exceptional. To be even thought about. Okay?
True.
And whoever's listening, I don't care who's ever listening. Okay? I don't care. Because you haven't lived in the world. You have not lived in the world. You think everything. Let me put it this way. Some people think, and I'm not saying all. Some people think that because they are of who they are, and someone like me takes this, I wouldn't say take the job, earns the job, is because you took my job. It was never your job. It was never your job. I took the opportunity to get the job, not take the job from you because of who you are. Really? You think this job is yours and yours is only? And we go up against each other head to head, and I outdo you? I took the job from you. I earned the job from you. That's the difference. By taking or earning is a difference. Okay. So when someone says, you took this pick from me, you took
Here
this
we
job
go.
from me,
Here
it was
we
never
go.
it was never yours. It
It's,
was never yours.
I was about
Okay.
to say a word I shouldn't say. I was going to say a word I shouldn't say.
It was never yours in the first place. Plain and simple. Look at it. You got somebody that you want. I have somebody I want. If you if you take the person and I take it from you, then you can say you took it from me. If the person was sitting there and it was between you and I took it before you, you never had it. You never had it, so I can't take it from you. That's what I'm saying. That's in a nutshell. That's in a nutshell. I'm keeping 100%.
I'm keeping
Okay.
100.
Getting back to this.
This Negro.
Getting back to this. So, the New Orleans Saints, I think you should go after Shador. I think you need a young quarterback. I don't think any veteran quarterback is going to come to the Saints because the fact is you got a new offensive coordinator / head coach who wants to get his own guys in there, be able to mold a offense, including a quarterback, the way he wants it. Okay? I think he wants a young rookie quarterback, not an old ass rookie quarterback. I mean, even though they took him, but he's old. Come on, he's old. And who's probably peaked of his skill set. Or doesn't have that much upside because the age and experience that he's already had and played multiple years in college football, and he's past his mid-20s. Really? You want to go that route? They did anyway, but it is what it is. Mr. FSP, I've been ranting and talking
Oh, I know.
for a
Trust
while,
me.
and
I know.
I want to get your thoughts on the New Orleans Saints and how they screwed this. And I'll say it like this: how they screwed this freaking draft up.
Okay. So my thoughts are, let me be demonstrative with this. The New Orleans Saints may be tanking for Arch Manning, believing Arch Manning will be there next year. I don't believe Arch Manning will be returning. I mean, I do believe Arch Manning will be returning to college for another year. He doesn't need to come out. It's not a money issue. He's a Manning. The New Orleans Saints have a lot of problems as it pertains to the salary cap. getting a player such as Tyler Shuck is an example of, okay, we got to get a quarterback in here because our fan base isn't going to tolerate us getting something outside of a quarterback. Now, they went and got the wrong quarterback, in my opinion. A pocket quarterback is great, but not in this era of football when you don't have a solid offensive line. And he doesn't have a big arm. But you have Olave, you got Alvin Kamara, you got, I forget the old guy's name, the other receiver that got hurt. There's a lot of speed out there.
Rashad
And
Sheen.
Shaheen, yes. But not a lot of time for a old young quarterback to develop that chemistry. Kamara's not getting any younger. I know he got another contract extension. The Swiss Army knife is coming back off injury. Kellen Moore loves to throw the ball. Now, the only time he didn't throw the ball a lot was last year with the Eagles because they wanted to use the hell out of Saquon, which they did. I was surprised at how much they threw the ball in the Super Bowl. But when I look at that head coach, I'm like, okay, the guy's not Justin Herbert, who he's a quarterback coach for. The guy's not Dak Prescott, because Dak has an arm, a live arm, and mobile. The guy is not what Kellen Moore normally uses as a quarterback in his system. That's the bottom line.
He needs a mobile quarterback.
Well, not necessarily a mobile quarterback, but a live arm quarterback. And when I say what I'm about to say, I don't care if it upsets you or anybody else. Shedeur Sanders is not going to New Orleans.
Okay.
You're not going to trade a rookie that you passed on to get Tyler. I don't even know how to say the guy's last name.
Tyler
Tyler
Show.
Schoen.
Show.
Mm-hmm. For a guy that's going to bring in all that what you said. Is he going to show up and show out? Is he going to do it? Look, you should know as a fantasy football analyst, someone that studies the numbers, that would be a recipe for a disaster. And I even said it a couple weeks ago when I repeated what Ryan Clark said. If you are a head coach and you're not able to deal with the things that come with the glitz and glamour of a Shedeur Sanders, you might not want to be a head coach. And if that's one of the reasons why you passed on him, it's no way in the world you're going to trade for him. Now, I'm going to compare something. Shiloh, as an unrestricted free agent, signed a 3-year contract worth $2.9 million with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers before taking one practice snap. Unheard of. An unrestricted free agent, before they even put on the pads, signs a 3-year, $2.9 million contract. That's almost $1 million a year. The average NFL player, unrestricted or drafted, 300-some thousand a year. And Shiloh is not anywhere better than Winfield. They play the same position. I use that to say Dylan Gabriel is not as good as Shedeur. However, Dylan Gabriel has guaranteed money as a 3rd-round pick. Dylan Gabriel may not be the livest arm, but he's pretty accurate. With the talent that Cleveland has, both of them are going to have to show up. Kenny Pickett's fifth round option declined.
Mm-hmm.
Will he make the team? Maybe he gets traded to New Orleans. He's a vet. He's played some games. He's won some games. He's a Super Bowl champion as a backup, but
Mm-hmm.
nonetheless, he's a Super Bowl champion. And it cost you not much to get a Kenny Pickett. Now, they get Kenny Pickett. I don't know if New Orleans is able to accept the 50-year option because Cleveland declined it. I don't know how that works. Maybe they can, maybe they don't. And then they say, okay, well, look, you'll come in here, you'll be the vet, but you'll compete with these other three quarterbacks. And if Kenny Pickett doesn't work out, you've had time to groom, show, you've had time to understand what you got in Spencer Rattler and the other quarterback. That makes sense to me. Also, finally, go back and get Jameis Winston. He fits what Kellen Moore wants to do. It's a crowded New York Giants quarterback room. Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, Tommy DeVita, and Jackson Dart. Odd man out, in my opinion, is Jameis Winston. Even though he was signed before Russell, Russell's going to start. He might not finish the season as a starter, but Russell's going to start. And then the investment in Jackson Dart, because this is Dayball and the general manager's jobs on the line. They traded back into the first round to get Jackson Dart, who has a lot of great things, but he has to be coached well. So with that being said, I think you gamble on, if you're the New Orleans Saints, not Shador, because there's a reason why you passed him, but you gamble on Jameis and you gamble on Kenny.
Okay. All right. That was the valid argument. I understand what you're saying. But Jameis is not the long-term answer.
Oh no, I agree.
So who is the long-term answer? Is the long-term answer on the roster or going to be on the roster this year, or are they going to wait and see what transpires next year?
You asking me?
Yes.
Okay. As I said earlier, Arch Manning is who I believe they are targeting. Plain and simple. His granddaddy was a star quarterback there. There's a connection in New Orleans because that's where I believe the Mannings live, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
It's a pedigree thing. And they're probably believing Arch is going to come out after this year, which I think would be a mistake.
Why?
He's a sophomore.
Okay. Okay.
I think he needs to be in Sarkisian's system for at least 2 years as a starter. Last year, when he did come in, he fumbled the ball on key downs. He didn't look bad, but he was not NFL ready. This year, we'll see how well he does.
Is he overrated? Do you think he's overrated?
Well, think about this. Cooper Manning is his dad. Cooper Manning wasn't a quarterback. Cooper Manning was a wide receiver.
Okay.
So,
but he comes from a lineage
I got it.
of quarterbacks.
I got it. I believe I believe he's an athletic quarterback.
Okay, that's
The day you say a white quarterback is the athletic quarterback, crazy. But uh, that's my thought process. That Arch Manning needs that tutelage from Steve Sarkisian and whoever else is a quarterback coach there. Um, he can get it from his uncles, but Eli played the game different from Peyton, and vice versa.
well. I think we had talked about this a few years ago, if I'm not mistaken, and about the evolution of the NFL quarterback being a typical drop back quarterback, moving to a more athletic quarterback, or I would say a more mobile quarterback. Okay, you want to say athletic? I like to say mobile, more mobile quarterback, being able to make plays on the run. And I think that's where the NFL and the quarterback position in the NFL has evolved to a more, because of the uh, increase of pass rushers and more uh, athletic pass rushers. You need to offset that with an athletic and mobile quarterback. And I think because of what took place in the college ranks, uh, is has transitioned into the NFL right now. So um, I know Shadur Sanders is and other quarterbacks are typical drop back quarterbacks, but they can move around. Some of them can move around. Some are typical drop back quarterbacks that can't move uh, as a lot of offensive coordinators or head coaches want them to. But they're looking for a Jalen Hurts. I mean Jaden Hurts. They want looking for a Lamar Jackson. They're looking for a Josh Allen. They're looking for even for Patrick Mahomes, because Patrick Mahomes, I consider him a mobile quarterback, even though he can best do his work in the pocket, but he also can move around when needed. So I think that's what they're looking for now because of the need and the emphasis on the pass rush. To be able to offset that pass rush, they need a quarterback that can shuffle his feet, move around in the pocket, get themselves comfortable being able to throw the ball on the run or from different positions on the field.
Okay.
So the Mannings, just look at the man, look at it, and the reason I'm saying this because we talked about Mannings. Archie Manning was a mobile quarterback, very mobile, had to be. His offensive line sucked. Okay, his offensive line was absolutely horrible. Okay,
Okay.
Peyton was the drop back quarterback, had heavy feet, couldn't move around. I mean, he was atypical drop back quarterback. And the evolution has come that Eli was more, he wasn't a typical drop back quarterback. He could move his feet and he was more athletic than Peyton in being able to make a move off out of the pocket and be able to throw on the run.
Okay.
Now you have Arch Manning, who's in college right now, who is a more mobile quarterback, and even that lineage in quarterbacks has evolved from a drop back quarterback from a mobile quarterback to a drop back quarterback to a more mobile quarterback to an even more mobile quarterback in Arch Manning. Okay, so but I still say this. I still ask this: is Arch Manning? So, since a lot of people talk about Arch Manning, is because of his lineage or because of his ability?
I think people look at his lineage and he has ability. He does. Um, the only thing I see as a difference is he was a good quarterback in high school, right? He's pretty good quarterback in high school.
Okay.
Um, in a system that allowed him to freelance. In Sarkeesian's system, he can freelance, but he likes to run. He likes to run.
Advantage or disadvantage?
Unless he gets bigger, it could be a disadvantage.
Okay.
Because going to the NFL, he's going to need to be bigger than
Okay.
that. Eli was a scrambler, right?
Mm-hmm.
Eli was a scrambler, but at the same time, Eli was a pocket passer
Mm-hmm.
who evaded sacks. He wasn't a runner. There's a difference. As I said, this year will determine if Arch Manning has control of the offense because he's the starting quarterback. Brock Ewers was the quarterback, supposed to have been a top 10 pick, fell all the way to the 7th round because his last year was not good because he wasn't healthy. Should have came back and got a lot of money in college, just transferred to another college because the writing was on the wall. Arch was gonna get that job. Um, with that, I gotta say that Arch Manning is expectation. Arch Manning is expectation of a name and of the ability he potentially has. Again, his father was a wide receiver, got hurt, devastating injury that ended his career. But his brothers and his grandfather, top tier quarterbacks. So you have the ability, the potential. This is what we call uh, potential energy. You hold it at a height, right? Once you let that rock or that ball go, it turns into kinetic energy. Right now, it's teeter tottering. So it's got little kinetic energy, but not enough to go swooping down that hill. It's still holding there. We'll see this year.
Okay. All right. So do you think this is a big year for Arch Manning? Is that what you're telling me?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
1,000 times, yes.
Okay.
1,000 times.
All right. All right. Well, you got anything else, Mr. FSB?
On this subject,
On anything?
I want to talk about Derek Carr.
Okay, let's talk about Derek Carr. Talk to me.
So this man spent 11 years in the NFL.
Roller coaster.
But I've said this. Once he learns a system, he's pretty damn good in it. And after 2 years, he learned Gruden's system with the Raiders. That second year, he was looking sharp, outstanding. Then Gruden's issue with the emails and stuff. He got a new head coach, new system. Struggled. Got traded. New Orleans, new head coach, struggled. Head coach gets fired, new system, struggles. Gets injured, retires. He would make a damn good quarterbacks coach and possible head coach if he decides to go back into football. I really think after he gets this surgery, now I don't know if you know the particulars, but what was reported is he could have had surgery, but he wouldn't know when he would return this season or if he could return this season, and he wouldn't be 100%, right? So the thought process was, I'm going to retire because I have guaranteed money regardless. New Orleans asked him to restructure his contract. He said no. I think this was last year. And the injury happened during the season and it re-aggravated itself in March when he was warming up and getting ready for the season. the team knows about this. The team didn't know how severe it was, but he reported it. I think Derek Carr will come back to the NFL in a year or two. He's only 32, 33, something like that. He'll try to come back. The problem is, at his advanced age and proclivity to not really pick up a system for like 1 or 2, I mean, for 2 years, who's going to be willing to take a chance on him as a starter? Probably not many. But getting out of New Orleans with all the issues they're about to have, I think it's a smart idea. Take the injury, get the surgery, let your body heal for a year or two, and you're collecting your guaranteed money. I don't begrudge him at all. People might, because they're like, well, why did you wait till after the draft to retire? Why did New Orleans wait so long to well, not wait so long. Why did New Orleans pick a guy that's not even ready to be a backup yet? Because they thought that the issue wasn't that big of an issue. Though they knew they needed a quarterback, but they passed on Jackson Dart, the prototypical quarterback for a Kellen Moore system.
I don't know. I mean, Mickey Loomis should take a big hit. I think they're not really too happy. The fan base is not too happy with the general manager because he passed up on Shedeur Sanders. He didn't plan ahead for a possible Derek Carr injury or do his due diligence to make sure what status Derek Carr was before the draft. And just that completely, to me, that completely boggles my mind why his veteran quarterback who has issues that you wouldn't do diligence and have your doctors go the extra mile to see what kind of status he would have going into the offseason and if he would be able to play into this season. Then you would know, have a better idea, a better picture of what you should do in the draft. And it seemed like he dropped the ball, quite literally dropped the ball. And now he's got an omelet on his face, in his face. Not just one egg, not just an egg. He's got an omelet in his face. Because he just did a terrible job. That, I mean, come on, man. You know your supposedly starting quarterback's got shoulder issues. What does a quarterback need when he needs a throw besides his arm? Shoulder. Hello?
Shoulder lean.
Really? And you let that slide? You let that slide. That's horrible management, man. That's management 101. Management 101. That's basic. And he's been running that for years. It's not like this is the first or second year. He's been around forever. And he knows, he should know quarterback. He got Drew Brees. If I'm not mistaken, he's the one that acquired Drew Brees. So he should know about shoulders and red flag, high up in the air, flying high. My starting quarterback, got shoulder issues.
Yeah.
Hey, somebody take a look at this, please. The draft is coming up. I need to know. I need to have some type of game plan. Okay. Not Tyler Show. Come on, man. Really? Really? That's a joke. That's a joke. And the fan base is absolutely, I'm looking at fan bases from Saints. They're absolutely livid. They're going crazy because now we got Tyler Show when we could have had a much better option at the quarterback position.
Yep.
Picking ninth. He wasn't down in the 20s. He was ninth. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? You mean you couldn't get a quarterback or move up for that fact, or try to move up to get a quarterback that you really wanted? Shedeur Sanders was sitting there. If all he had to do was pull the lever and say in the ninth pick in the 2025 NFL draft, the New Orleans Saints select Shedeur Sanders.
That's it.
and I know the fan base was going crazy because he said, what is he doing? now they're going to say, hang Mickey Loomis. I mean, that's how rabid that fan base is. They're diehard Saint fans down there. Because now we're dealing with Tyler Show, Hayner, and Rattler as one of our starting quarterbacks right now. And they damn sure ain't getting Kirk Cousins from the Atlanta Falcons. That ain't gonna happen.
You're not doing it. Nope.
That ain't gonna happen.
Nope.
And Aaron Rodgers ain't coming to a rebuild. That ain't happening. Come on, man. Saints are going to be one of the worst teams in the league.
That hints tanking for Manning.
And I've said this once before, and I love this player. I absolutely love this player because I've beaten the drums constantly for this player. And I was the 1 year I told him he was going to be the number one running back. That's what he was. Alvin Kamara on a bad team. People, he's not a first or second round pick. He's not even a second or third round pick. Okay, a running back on a bad team with a bad quarterback, with a rebuild, young team, defense. They're going to rely on their defense a lot because their defense is a lot better right now than their offense. I tell you that right now. Their defense is a lot better than the offense. And the offense is going to suck. Inconsistent. They're going to rely heavily on dumping the ball off to Alvin Kamara because Alvin Kamara is not that dude running the football anymore. So he's not that dude running the football anymore. He hasn't been that for a few years. He's mainly in fantasy, he mainly is a PPR type of running back. Okay.
Agreed. I agree with that.
And that was my very short fantasy info for this week. People, it's time to go. And you may not see me for a few weeks. I got a lot of things going on.
Hold up. Then you need to tell the people about the horses coming up this week.
Let me put it
this week.
Let me
happening this week.
Let me put it this way. 1 o'clock. You just give me a chance. Okay. All right. Just give me a chance. I'm sure you might meet 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time is what you see. My compadre over there. My compadre. Fantasy, Sports, and Politics. 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Fantasy, Sports, and Politics.
1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, Facebook, and X, I guess. TikTok, whatever.
Okay, let me help you out.
Go ahead.
Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, sometimes LinkedIn, soon to be TikTok, and Instagram.
Okay. I'll be talking about the Preakness, which takes place right after the Kentucky Derby. Mr. FSP picked up some nice money. I have to congratulate him. Picked up some nice money. Let's see what he can do on the Preakness. Wait a minute. Just you keep interrupting and let me speak, and then when I finish speaking, then you can say whatever or ask whatever you want.
Look at this.
On an FSP show, for this Fantasy, Sports, and Politics, I'll be talking about what I like in the Preakness. The Preakness takes place next Saturday, late next Saturday. So you'll have plenty of time to listen to the program, Fantasy, Sports, and Politics, and be able to go and make your calculated guess on horses that you may like in the Preakness. Okay, that's the second leg of the Triple Crown. The third is the first Saturday in June. I probably won't be around by then. I'll be in the process of moving. That May 31st, or no, in fact, I will be the first weekend in June. I'll be around. So for the next 2 or 3 weeks, I'll be in the process of taking care of business on Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The next time you see me will be on the FSP show, and I'll update you on when I'll be doing another program in a new location, because I'm in the process of packing up and moving. And but stay tuned for when I'll be co-hosting the FSP show with Mr. FSP, 1 o'clock. Co-hosting, 1 o'clock. Co-hosting, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on a Saturday afternoon for the next few weeks. Talk to me.
Ladies and gentlemen, fantasy football is right around the corner. It's already the middle of May. Next Sunday, I'll be 49 years old. So Saturday may be a quick abbreviated show. That's why I wanted to get some horse racing out today so we can talk about it. Mainly that on Saturday and NBA as we gear up for June, where it's going to be divisional breakdowns of what has happened. And by that time, we'll see if New Orleans Saints does something with their quarterback situation. Also, I'm recruiting for my fantasy football league. Some people may not return. The champ may not return if his fees aren't paid by July 30th. I'm just saying,
What are you talking about?
I can't. Maybe you need to read the message board. I said everybody's money has to be in by July 30th. And I also said everybody should talk to each other to make sure nobody misses this announcement. So,
Wait, whoa. I'm supposed to get my fees paid by another person.
and didn't I just say people need to talk to everyone just in case they miss the announcement? I said that here and I put it in the chat and I put it on the league message board. If somebody's supposed to pay for someone else, you need to reach out to them to make sure they're going to be able to do it by the deadline. That's what I said. I didn't say use in particular because I want to point you out, but you did it yourself. But as I said, you might want to reach out to others to make sure they see this message, because I have 2 or 3 people that said they're interested. And as I told everybody, friend, foe, or whatever, I got to have the fees in because keepers are set for July 30th. And I want to not wait to the last minute for people to get their money in.
So you telling me it's on me to make sure this person is does what they said they were going to do. Is that what you're telling me?
Partially. I sent out the message, I'm gonna say it for the 3rd time, to reach out to people just in case they did not see the message that I posted in the chat. I put on the league message board, actually pinned it in the chat as well. And I've said it 3 times prior to this date. So I will continue to let people know, but I want folks to reach out to everybody in the league and say, hey, you saw what Vic said? Are we good? Yes or no? That's how that works. So partially on you, yes.
All right.
So if you're interested in playing fantasy football this upcoming season, Mr. Taylor, I don't know what a trophy is, but I guess you got it packed up. I'm gonna assume that. and receive some monetary compensation for your win. I don't know if I'm gonna get a ring this year. I got a ring not knowing a certain person was going to win because I really didn't want to send that ring. I didn't want to send the trophy at the time. I really didn't because that's how upset I was with the person because the person was being a person. But drop me a line. Come on here Saturday or Sunday and share your email. Open to all comers. That's what I got.
When you could take down the first and second seed in a fantasy playoffs,
This mother of pearl.
you can take down the first and second seed back to back and win your fantasy league. You've done something. You've done something. Okay. That's all I got to say. And regardless of who it is, they get in the playoffs, regardless how they get in the playoffs. I've always said this. The key is getting into the playoffs. Anything can happen. It's happened to me on a positive side. It's happened to me on a negative side. The key is to get into the playoffs. I don't care if you're the last seed, the third seed, the fifth seed, whatever. But when you take down the second and first seed in that order, you're doing something. You've done something. Okay? I'm going to try my best to get people to get into the playoffs. That's the key. The first step is getting into the playoffs. The next step is to win that matchup, regardless of what portion of the playoffs that you're in. My mission, regardless of whoever it is to get you into the playoffs in 2025 and let the fantasy gods either shine their light on you or turn their back on you. That's all I got to say. Tune in 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on FSP show. Mr. FSP will be the host. Saturday afternoon, people. We'll be talking briefly or not briefly about the Preakness, among other things.
Yes. All I really want you to do is just give you gave some very good insight. You gave some very good insight about the track and, the horses running and not running on that surface before. I thought that was very, very insightful. So I would like for you to share that with the audience so that they can make an educated decision as well.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this next week, and I'm going to say it again briefly right now. The next race is at Pimlico, which is in Baltimore, Maryland. It's the Preakness, which is a Pimlico racetrack, which is a speed track. A lot of horses that go to the front have an advantage at that track. It's a mile and 3/16, which is shorter than a mile and a quarter. And it's a speed track.
So journalists or journalism should win because he's a speed horse.
Not necessarily. Because
Well, based upon the weather, because that's what we talked about. The weather conditions is why he did not win that race,
well,
in my opinion.
okay.
He placed though.
He got second. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. He had to work to get second because the one of the longest stretches is in Churchill Downs. So the longest stretch in regular horse racing is in Fairgrounds, but Churchill Downs doesn't have a short stretch, home stretch. That means the top of the track to the finish line, the length between there. That's what I'm talking about. The home stretch. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, people, enjoy your week. Be safe.
Happy Mother's Day
Yeah,
to all the ladies.
Yes. Happy Mother's Day. See ya.